Okay. So, circle prospecting. I'm sharing my screen. I'm going to try it this way. Share screen two. Share. Okay. And okay. So you guys can see. And today's session shouldn't be that long because, like I said, we've done this before. So there's no deep dive into what we have to do, but the idea is circle prospecting. So just to reiterate, the number one lead generator right now is the people you know. So it's your sphere of influence. Number two is open houses. Number three is for sale by owners and expireds. And then we have circle prospecting or geofarm. They kind of are the same. So, circle prospecting, what is it? We'll talk about it in a minute. Let's talk about how we are doing. So, anybody have something they want to share? Good news, anything happening that you want to talk about? I see that smile on Kathy's face. I don't hear you though.
No, I'm good.
Okay. So, you guys have a good week? So, Kelly, you were starting to make calls.
Yeah, we met last week and we kind of updated my Geo farm, and got some names, and I did like looked up the names on Forewarn, and every day I've just been trying to do a couple. It's been like 90% voicemails, or the people that get it or they're not like it's kind of a miss so far, but I think the reps of just calling and leaving the voicemails is making me every time like it's getting a little better. So hopefully they start getting some calls back. I did a lot of it at the end of last week, and I know it's a long weekend, so I'm sure this week maybe I'll start getting some calls back.
Excellent. You know what I do if I feel like this is a person I want to talk to, I'll make them a contact in my phone and just put who they are. So when they call me back, I'm like, Kelly, so good to talk to you. I'm so glad you called me back. Now they're like, do I know her? So just a thought. Excellent. Okay. Ahmed, how was your week?
It was good, Jody. As you know, we had one in the process with one of my clients, but it basically didn't work out. So, but I do have another buyer who's going to make an offer today. He's moving forward, which is a good thing. That will be my first transaction, and hopefully it will go through. As far as the connections, really, yeah, I'm going to be honest. I didn't make with the Valentine's day and weekend. I didn't make any phone calls, but I always myself. My situation is different. I meet with a lot of people every Friday. So, I try nicely to pass my business card, to talk, be very open about whether residential, commercial, business. Most of those people do know me. People who don't even know me, they recognize me now from the Facebook, uh, and I do see a lot of feedback. I see a lot of also people reach out to me, try to basically to be like a friend request, which is a good thing.
Good.
So for a new real estate agent, I have been with your company for almost about 2 months. Um, Basically, I'm happy because things are moving up, moving forward. So sometimes, especially with the way the market is, we can push it too much. But with all your advice, we'll try to do, our best. And eventually, by the next month in March, things will be better for everyone. I know January and February in all the businesses kind of slow, but in March things will be better for all of us.
I
And
know it
also
all hits us
help the
at
new advice.
once. We push, 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 and then now that they can't wait to get out of bed in the morning because the sun is out.
Yes.
So at least that's how I am. So I totally agree with you. Good job.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for sharing. And Nick, you knocked on doors, you got a lead. That's awesome. And who did I miss? Charlotte. Oops, I keep pressing the wrong stuff. Charlotte, thank you. I think I know what you're going to say, but if you want to add anything, I know you've sent out 200 mailer, which is amazing, and you're following up. So it is hard. People don't pick up, when they don't know us. So that's why I think with Circle Prospecting, we'll get a little more information today about how to have in-person conversations. Okay.
Jody, I did do an open house
Ah,
and the mailman was looking around, so I invited him in and then he came back with his daughter.
oh my goodness.
Yeah, so it was good. So he was
That
looking
is
in around. I
great.
said, "Do you want to come in?" And he came in and looked around and then came back with his daughter who was looking. So,
When did you do the open house?
Saturday before snow and hell.
That is so great. How
Yep.
many people did you have?
I had five groups.
Awesome.
I expected more, but the impending snow was,
Yeah. Yeah, we were making calls here at the office and, the news and everything, the weather alerts, and everybody was, like always, that's
yeah.
New England.
Yep.
Thank you, Kathy. So I hope you guys all had a good weekend. Um, and there's other things to do. So track your conversations. We'll talk about it when we have our call. Open houses that's great. So hopefully we'll have a good weekend this weekend. And then knocking on doors, probably easier to get in front of people. And then posting. So, this past week was great for posting because we had Valentine's Day. Did you guys all post? Anybody getting anything from posting on social media? Yeah, it's funny. We have to like find out the pain points. Like, what can we talk about to create reactions? So, and we're going to talk about some of that today. So, the other nice thing about social posts, besides that your friends and family see it, and their family sees, their friends and family see it if they comment, it lets them know you're in real estate. And when people Google you, a lot of times it comes up. I will say don't neglect LinkedIn because LinkedIn has really excellent SEO and things really do show up there. So the other thing is appointments. So we're going to talk about making appointments, turning conversations into appointments. It's not easy to do. And, you know, that is one of the hardest things. So number one, it's hard to get people to pick up the phone, especially if they don't know you. So when we're doing circle prospecting, you're probably, if you can knock on doors, that's a better thing. And number two, taking that conversation and turning it into appointment. Even when we were making calls on Saturday, I could really see that. It was almost like one agent, she was doing a phenomenal job and she's an experienced agent, but it was almost like she was waiting for them to ask her to make an appointment. And it would have been easy to just say, why don't we get together and just talk about the possibilities? So keep your spreadsheet, your A and B, track your time. It's a really good idea at the end of the day to be able to look at what you've accomplished and be able to pat yourself on the back. That was a great job. And a lot of times we don't pay attention. We don't even know how hard we worked because we're not tracking our time. So time blocking, I think, is really, really important. Don't forget to do that. Okay. So what is circle prospecting? It's a reason to call your geofarm or other areas in town. You can do this anywhere that you feel like it. Okay. It kind of works out better if you're going to an area that they know you or you're trying to get to know them. So it helps. Why are we calling? We want to talk about a new listing that just came up on the market. So we're talking to everybody in the neighborhood or something that just sold and what they got. What's nice about calling on something that just sold, I just want to let you know, the Smiths sold their house for 550,000. It's similar to yours, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. And, really. So that's a good thing. Or Sokol prospecting is also, I have a buyer and they want to move here. So this is going after a specific neighborhood and you have a buyer, especially it works if you actually have a buyer and they do want to live there. So it's a nice way to get buyers to also commit to you by telling them, I will work to get off-market listings into our repertoire of houses I'm going to show you. Any questions on that? Okay. So how do I find a new listing, a just sold? It's easy. Go into the MLS. On the dashboard, you have the market activity. You look today. We're looking at new listings. We're clicking on the green line for new listings, and then the list pops up, and we select that one listing. And then we look at the full picture of it. There's one in Clinton. So this is a new listing and it came on the market. It's $395, Captain's Walk, Clinton. And then looking at the information, just perfect. Walk to the harbor, downtown Clinton, and the train station from this well-updated home. Open concept, one level living with an updated kitchen, tile floor, Corian tops. So it goes into some things that are kind of nice that now you know more about this area too. This area, I can walk to the train. I can walk downtown and to the harbor. And it's $395. For a shoreline area, that is pretty good. So when I click on the eye bubble here in the MLS, that opens up to additional information. Then I can select the tax record and I can see when it was, who owns it now. Okay. So now I open up the map. So you move this a little to the right and it opens up the map. And if you have your GeoFarm, you already have the phone numbers for this. So you can go ahead and knock on doors or call them, whatever you want to do, to talk about this house, affordable shoreline living home that just came on the market for $395. And then what do I want to say? So you have all the tools. So this is one of the things I love. Don't make it too big, the 5510. So the 5510, who knows what that means? That means I go to the house and I look at 5 houses on one side of the street, 5 houses on the other side of the street, and then 10 houses across the street or around the corner. I'm basically going to knock on 20 doors looking for someone to talk to. I have a brochure about the area and myself. I have something to hand them. If I'm in a hurry, I just have my business card. That's fine because I'm going to have a nice conversation when I knock on their door. If they're not home, I'm sliding my card into the door. Jam. Okay. I'm not going to knock on the house that's for sale because that is someone else's listing. So I don't want to interfere with their agency relationship, but I am going to knock on everyone else. The nice thing about the brochures we do, there's a little disclaimer in there. It says, if you are already working with another agent, do not consider this a solicitation. And that way you're covered as far as, knocking on doors and talking to people. So the 5510 is just knocking on 5 doors on either side, 10 across. And I might go to 3 different areas. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Pick up the phone or knock on the door. Best is if you're doing it in the area that you already know, your GeoFarm. then you can talk about the house. You know what? Are you familiar with the blue house, the blue ranch over on Captain's Walk? It just came on the market for $395. The one with the one car attached garage. You know, the Smiths live there. Okay, so I say that, and now I'm part of the neighborhood too. And that's why I like the idea of going after your neighborhood because it's genuine. You are part of that neighborhood. Okay, so they just listed, they just sold whatever it is. Describe the house. It was a 3 bedroom, set 1170 square feet, a 0.39 of an acre, one car attached garage, and uh, they listed it for $395. We're seeing a lot of activity already. You can go in showing time and see how many showings are already scheduled, and you could talk about that. We're already seeing a lot of activity. You know, I've lived here myself for 4 years. I love this area because I can walk my dog downtown. We can go have breakfast and walk along the water. How long have you lived in the area? So now you're having a conversation. You know, if you were to move, when would you see that happening? Probably when I retire. I've had people say, "Oh yeah, I'm definitely moving." Well, when do you see that happening? You always have to ask them when. Oh, when I retire in 5 years, you know. So now I have a timeline. So I just want to make them feel good, connect with them, because everyone knows somebody who's moving. So they are going to be part of my circle of influence eventually. Compared to last January, this January, the number of new listings in Clinton has increased 83.3%. Okay. And the average price in town is $496.83, which is still one of the most affordable shoreline towns. So I want to find good news that I can share with them to give them hope. So hope is important. Making people feel good is important. Making them feel like they're important to you is important. Okay, so where do I get that information? Fast stats. So in the MLS, when you first log in, there's an icon called Fast Stats, and it's giving me the latest update quickly at my fingertips of Clinton. Single families on the top, condos are on the bottom. It tells me there are 11 new listings. Last year there were 6. That's 83.3% change. So that 83.3% is what I'm talking about, not 11 new listings. Okay? And this is January, so year to date is going to be the same number. Pending sales, there's 11 pending sales. And last year there were 6. And then there are 13 closed sales. So Clinton's doing great. So if Clinton's doing great, what is the area next to Clinton? What's happening there? Okay, well, that would be Madison. There are 17 new listings, but last year there were 22. So that's actually a negative. There's 22% less, 22.7% less new listings. Whoops. But there are 14 pending sales, and that's up. Last year there were only 9. And there are 8 closed sales, which is down. And I'm sure things will kick up because the average price in this town is 807 for single family, and things are selling less than asking, 1% less. Up here, the average sale price is 496, and the percent of price received is 2.1% over asking. So you can see every town is a little bit different, but that kind of information is good to know and have on your clipboard. And comparing a different town is good. You know, so people then they look at you as a resource because if they live in Clinton now, where are they going to move to? Well, Madison would be a good move up area. Okay. So this is the maps we were looking at last year, the migration maps. I'm going to show you where these are. So this shows us in Middlesex County where buyers are moving, where are Connecticut buyers moving from? So they are coming to us from Massachusetts. And that would be 19%. So out of the number of buyers that are coming from outside of Connecticut, 19% are coming from Massachusetts, 17% are coming from New York, then Florida, then California, then Rhode Island, Texas, Maine, North Carolina. So you can see very diverse. But most people are moving from inside, and there's another report you can get for that, but I don't want to geek out too much. Okay. And then we have the next one, where are Connecticut buyers moving from? So this one shows you most are moving right in town in Connecticut, and then 19.8 are moving from outside of Connecticut, and it has those numbers. And this is the city of Clinton. So the other one was the county of Middlesex. So it's Middlesex County. All right. This is every year. I have to move you guys. Hang on. So 2019, it was 10, 20, 23, 19, 20. So it's been, about 20% consistently. Okay. All right. And then this is Middlesex County, where are Connecticut sellers moving to? So this is where they're going. Florida, 22%, then New York, South Carolina, Vermont, New Jersey, Maine. So that's where they're going to. So that's the idea. Now I just want to take a minute. I'm going to stop sharing for a sec. And I hope I don't lose this now. The MLS. So I just want to show you what we just did. So logging into the MLS. Before we log in, this is Fast Stats. Oops, I'm not showing my screen. Hang on. Okay. Logging into the MLS. Before I log into Connect MLS, in Smart MLS, this is Fast Stats. So this is where you can, let me do that again because I saw Ahmed move in. Hold on. All right. Right here, Ahmed,
Yeah.
Fast Stats. Orange with two little mountains.
Yes.
Okay. And there we go. So first I select a town. You can select a county, but I'm going to select Clinton. And the most recent is January. So it's not, totally up to date. And then view report. And here's the information. So that's where you can get this. Below it are the condos. Then they have more information when you scroll down even more. You can actually share this. You can have marketing to take screenshots and create something for you to hand out with your bio and everything too. So it's good to share this kind of thing when you're knocking on doors. So, gives people some good information. And then I'm going to the other statistical area, and that is in the MLS, Connect MLS. So I'm in the beginning when we first started, I said, where are the new listings? Okay, and here are the new listings. And then here are the under contracts, here are the closed. It's the morning. This is today. So as the day moves on, there will be more. If you want, you can go back one day. Okay. So if you click on the new listings, it opens up. There they are. So a new listing equals 10 days or less in the MLS. Okay, so let's go find one. All right, here's one in Waterbury. Let's look at that one. Okay, up another blue ranch with an attached garage for 280. Looks nice too. So that's a new listing. So I would definitely say, okay, what's happening with this? And select it, then show selected, open it up to the full area. Nice. And then go back, whoops, to the new listings. And then you can also open up the map once you go into that area. So that's how we got where we were so far. And then Smart MLS Stats is where we see the migration data. So I'm going to wait till you are looking at my screen and you tell me to go ahead before I click on it. You want me to do it? Okay, so here, Smart MLS Stats. This is, it looks like Spotify. It's green with little lines. Smart MLS Stats. Migration reports right here. Migration reports. And then here are my sellers too, sellers. All right, why is it not looking right? Hang on. I think I double clicked. Sometimes I'm going to do it again. There we go. Can you see my screen? Okay. It's downloading. So our session is, okay, where are Connecticut sellers moving? So it's just taking a minute to download. You can see with our sessions, this is week 7. So we're in week 7. I just want to see something. So our commitment in the beginning was 25 contacts a day. Some of you are not in week 7, but most of you are in week 7. So here's the migration. I just want to share something. Track your contacts in your conversations. If it's not a phone, it could be a text back and forth. It could be DM, direct message on social media back and forth. Track your conversations. We are looking to do a minimum of 5 a week, which is 25 times 7. That would be 175 conversations so far, and you definitely would have had appointments. So I can tell if we're not getting appointments, then that's part of it. Now, some of us are getting appointments and also are doing well. But that, just track it because you want to make sure this is working. Are your guys' connections okay? Is my connection okay?
Yes.
Okay,
It was
good.
good. Your sound cut out, I think, for a minute, but you're good now.
Okay. So this is the migration report, and we can also go to, so what we are looking at is the crazy view, which is hard to see, but it shows us where the most number of people in the whole state or every county are going to. So Hartford, it's Massachusetts is number 1, and then it looks like South Carolina. New London, they're like everywhere. Florida mostly. Tallinn, Wyndham, Fairfield, New York, and Florida. And then you have sellers two, and there's a map view. So the map view isn't quite as busy. This is the one I would use. And once the map view downloads, then we can shift where they're moving from. So where are Connecticut sellers moving to? So we can shift by county or town. Oh no, in this one we can only shift by county. So I'm just going to pick, in this case, it was Middlesex. Okay, and that's from November of last year to February of this year. I could change that, but I'm not going to do it right now. So you can fool around with this and get whatever you want. You can download it. You can use this. You're paying for it. You can use this. Who has a question?
I have a question, Jody, please.
Okay.
I know, like, when you were talking about people moving from out of state, I believe Massachusetts was 19%, New York 17%, and those are the closest states to Connecticut. How can we target those potential clients or buyers? Like there's a traffic. People come from this area. Is there any way you can?
Well, yeah, there are most of it has to do with paying for ads,
Yes.
so the targeting ads, you can target ads based on where they are, and you can do that in social media. We also have something with our website that we do where we can target by different geolocations too. But you'd have to reach out to Patty for that. I'm not sure what the cost would be.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So this is the map. That's how you get there. And then buyers from. And buyers from map. Where is the town? One of them also has a town. Buyers from out of state. So our buyers in Connecticut are 19.6% from out of state. This is where we can drill down the town. So these are people that are coming here, and you can drill it down by county. You can also do city. And look at this city. If you can lean in and see this, it tells you how many, I believe this is number of sales in 1 year. So what is the number one town in the last 24 months? Stamford, then Norwalk, then Waterbury, then Bridgeport, then West Hartford. So you can see where, sometimes if you want to go outside of the town you live in, pick a town where people are moving. Because you can see there's a lot. Let's look at the least amount. Agawam. So where's Clinton on here? So that is interesting, I think. Focus on where the money is. This is where people are moving to more than anywhere else. That's the number of sales. So this is where you can pick your city. So just for fun, let's pick, I know Stanford's New York. Let's pick Hampden or West Hartford. I'm going to pick West Hartford. Okay, so 738 deals, and 21% of them are from outside of the state. And this shows where the buyers are. It hasn't loaded yet, but I can see that in the light gray, New York is number one. So going to even West Hartford, New York is number one, then Massachusetts, then Florida, then Rhode Island, California, New Jersey. So it's interesting. And I think it's interesting to people to see that. So that's how you get the map and the stats that you can have conversations when we are knocking on doors. So fast stats. One other thing I talked about was how many showings. So we're already seeing activity. Let's just look at something I want to share with you. So in the Smart MLS, before you log all the way in, showing time here has reports that you can see how much activity is happening in different towns. So we know that that house was on the market for, what did I say that house was on the market for? Let me look. Um, so this house, 395. Okay, so if I go into showing time, and I am looking at reports here to the left, reports. Then I scroll all the way down to the bottom one. It says target market analysis. Run report. And I am going to pick a city, Clinton. And we know there's very few listings on the market in Clinton. This one was 495, so I'm going to say 475 to 500. 500 with increments of 5,000. And I'm going to do within the last 10 days because it's got to be, I'll say here. Okay. So that's the price range it's listed at, 495. And we have it on for the last 10 days. And now I
I
hit
think it was
submit.
395. Was it 395?
Oh, 390 was it? Okay. So I'll go back. I know it's all the same to me now. So let me make this 395, 375, and this 400. Okay. And then submit. Clinton. Okay. So it would have to be here. So, and this house, I believe it's been on just for a couple days, 10 showings. The other way I can check is I can just look on the house and try to set up a showing. And you can see right from there
Yeah.
how many showings there are. So I'm going to just hit search. Clinton, if it's still in the market. I think I did this Saturday. Okay. We'll go from lowest to highest. 395, Captain's Walk. I'm going to select it, go up here to showing time, add to showing cart. Let's say I want to go today. I have to say something there and now pick a time. So these are the showings that are already set up for today. So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I could see what's happening for tomorrow too if I wanted to, but I'd have to pick another day. So that's how you can also, when you're talking to neighbors, well, I know I just went online and there's already about 20 showings set up for today, or what was, I don't, whatever it was. So that's the behind the scenes. Now I'm gonna switch. Okay. Any questions on any of this?
Yeah, Jody, I have a question.
Okay.
I understand the significance of this and where they're coming from and how to talk about that and apply that, but can you kind of role play or model a conversation like why people would like care or be interested on where everybody's moving to? Like they already know where they're going, right? If they're selling their house, they have a plan. They know where they're moving to. I wouldn't know how to utilize that in a conversation of where most people in Connecticut are moving to New York or Florida, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a really great question, and thank you for asking that. So a lot of times people like might have their own plans, and they wonder if they're unique. And you know when you're prospecting, when people are saying, "Oh yeah, I'm getting out of Connecticut," they have a reason they're saying that, right? So I might say, "Well, you're not alone. Actually, 20% of the people that are moving out of Connecticut are going to Florida." Which I thought is interesting. And then, so it's good to know. Also, they may think, well, everyone's going to Texas. And then actually, not a lot of people from Connecticut go to Texas, but they do go to Florida. So that they're going to the southern states. Anybody want to share ideas?
Well,
Does that make
that's helpful.
sense?
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. That's helpful. That really is. Thank you. Thank you for that. I
I
just
think
kind of needed to like listen to you and put it in my mind that way. That's all. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I would say it's not so that you can tell them. It's that if something comes up in the conversation, you normalize it. Oh, a lot of people are moving. What's interesting is whenever you can say something like that, you quote a source, you quote a famous person. We have access to the real deal of why people are moving because they track this in the MLS. Everything else, I don't know where the data comes from. Maybe, but it can't be as up to date as this is. By the time it gets into the census or something like that, you're talking a year down the road. This is up to date, what's happening now. So that's kind of the talk track. The talk track is relaxed. You're getting to know them. You're finding a common bond. You want to be a resource that they can use down the road. This is your area that you knock on doors in. Hey, I just want to stop by and let you know the Smiths over on whatever it was are selling their house. And, it's interesting. The blue one with the attached garage? 3 beds, about the same as yours, partially finished basement. And they listed for $395, which is so affordable for this area. So I have that conversation. They're going to think, what do they think if I say that?
They probably start wondering what they can get for their house and
Yeah, that's what they think because everybody is thinking that most of the time. And are, should I move? Shouldn't I move? Prices are the highest they're ever going to be. Are they going to keep going up? Well, what demands the prices go up or down is supply and demand. So then we have what's happening with Connecticut's economy. Where are people going? What's happening with business? That kind of thing. So that's another conversation. That's why it's a good idea to Google the mayor, the whoever are the leaders in the different towns and in the state, because most of the time when they're announcing anything online, it's positive. And you want to give people hope and have a good reason why this is a great state. So I always post like reasons why Connecticut is great everywhere. Just because I think it's kind of like you don't believe in your product unless you try your product. You can't be a good chef if you don't like to eat, right? You have to know how things taste. It's the same thing. So you live in the neighborhood. So that's your commonality. And then this is what's happening. A new listing just came on the market. I want to let you know about it. If I were to wave a magic wand, when do you see yourself moving? How far down the road? And then, have that conversation. You find when you're knocking on doors, you're catching people in the middle of their day a lot of times, and they're doing things. And they might be gardening or fixing something up. It's a great way. Oh, I don't want to take you away from your gardening. I have to do that myself later. I live right over here. So it's a great way to just build the commonality. Any other questions?
What do you share? What is great about Connecticut? What are the key points?
Well, so, I've lived here all my life, and I would share things. I just love all the nature, the hills, the green, the fact that we're close to New York and Boston, yet we have our own amazing restaurants. We have the Bushnell and the along the shoreline. There's other like places you can go see plays. There's always cultural events happening. Uh, Connecticut has a lot of culture, and people are very involved in it. So, there's little playhouses, there's just so much. I would, if you are looking for things, ask the seller what they love about this. Tell me, what do you love the most? I was recruiting an agent who came from here from Ohio, and she's lived here about 5 years. I said, what do you love the most about Connecticut? Guess what she said? Kelly knows. Buses. Okay, this woman loved buses. I'm like, buses, because everything's flat there and there is no public transportation. So you have to drive everywhere. And there's a long way to go to get to anywhere, I guess, where she was living. So sometimes, your customers can tell you. Sometimes people can't think of one good thing, But when you Google it and you do like a Google search and save the search, what do they call that? Google. I have a bunch of them set up. I set one up on myself.
Oh, the Google alerts.
Google Alerts, right. Then it tells you. And it tells you what's happening in the town, and which is another thing you want to be aware of, anything going on in the area.
Off that point, Jody, just if this helps people,
Yeah.
I had to do it at my other job. The patch usually is like a very hyper local, like, almost like an online newspaper. And they always have like restaurant openings and like they have very good little things that like sometimes it's just good to know. Like if you're looking for a certain area, you'll have a better idea if
Yeah.
you're not as familiar with it of like, oh, this just opened, kind of a good talking point for people.
I love that. Yeah, that is very true. I love the patch. I just got a subscription to the Hartford Courant for that reason, because I was like, I want to, support local and I want to know what's going on locally, you know. All right. So, what are some other things you just want to make sure you do before you go out? And every day, be prepared. So the quicker you ask for help from marketing, the faster you're going to get it. So make sure you're utilizing the C21 job request at gmail.com. You want to have a marketing piece about you and the area that you're serving. You have to come up with the talking points. They don't know you, so they don't really have, a blank slate. Tell them what you want to say. What is your bio? I've lived here all my life. I've lived here the last 5 years, whatever it is. I came from, I love Connecticut because, or you don't have to talk about that. Talk about what's important to you, your pets, you know, whatever it is. Get a nice picture of yourself on a bio, put some good information in there, and put your expertise. You are an expert in pulling statistics in the area, and you love showing houses all over the state. Whatever it is. Um, but when we're knocking on doors, the way to be prepared is look at the new listings every day. Go in there and see what's new, what's closed, what went under contract. Uh, Look them up. What do you think about that price? And then what do you like about the area? Where are people coming from that move here? If you want, you could even do a survey and call people that have recently closed on their houses. I'm just calling. My name's Jody Tessing with Century 21. I know I have nothing to do with the house you just bought, but I'm doing a survey today for the area. I just want to find out what made you move to this area? What do you love about Connecticut? Do you have a favorite restaurant? Do you have someone that can fix your house if something goes wrong, or a plumber, a handyman? Oh, you don't? I have a bunch. I do a newsletter every week, once a month, just talking about what's happening in the area. Would you like me to put you on my list? I don't want to leave you out. So get to know them. Think of things you can do. What does everybody like? It might be the gym, it might be eating healthy, it might be not eating healthy in the best restaurants, it might be drinking, cigar bars, we're so different. Libraries. It could be so many things. So you want to think about, what you can talk about. And you might want to spotlight an area once a month. And it's funny because whatever you learn, that's what you talk about. So request your flyer have something made up. All right. So one thing I'm seeing is we are not getting enough appointments. And I'm not saying no one is. A lot of you are getting appointments, but I want to give you some help here. So here are some things to talk about when you want to turn a conversation into an appointment. Okay? So that's our goal, appointments. Having conversations, turning them into appointments. So here's one, offer market insights. We do that anyway. You mentioned you're curious about the market, whatever they meant. I was wondering where people are coming from, whatever it is. Would you like to grab a coffee next week? I can share some quick updates about what's happening with the values in your area. Leveraging off-market listings. So we're doing that. We're knocking on the doors. We're trying to find people that want to sell. So as I do that every day, this is an area that I service. Part of one of the things I do is get to know all the neighbors, what's happening. A lot of times I find out about houses coming on the market before they do. Would you like me to share that with you? Let's get together. We can talk about it. Offer a home equity review if they're not ready to sell yet. I love what you're saying. I know you don't want to move in for 5 years. I'd love to do a home equity review just so you can see what's happening in the neighborhood right now. Because what is happening right now in everywhere? What is happening? Change. Change is happening right now. So what we might think is our stability for a lot of people is changing in so many ways. So this might be something that they should know. And what they're thinking today that could never happen might happen next week. So that's why it's good to use those, it's a way for you to learn how to get really good at doing market evaluations and get to know people and have them refer people. Ask for their opinion on the market. So many people are wondering if now's the right time to buy or sell. And, it's a no pressure way to make an appointment. Why don't we go up for coffee and I can show you what's going on out there? I'd like to get your opinion too. So that kind of thing. And then the last one, offer a free strategy session. So it's not always about a market evaluation. It could be a strategy session to just talk about this step and the next step. Oh, well, I can't put my house on the market. I'll never find a place to go. Well, you know what? Maybe you can. Let's talk about some things that we can do that I do every day. Grab some coffee. Okay. Anybody have any ideas they want to share here? So I know Nick is doing really well knocking on doors. And so come up with your own rhythm. Nick, share with us what you say when you first knock on the door.
I say, hey, my name's Nick with Century 21. Did any of your neighbors tell you I'd be stopping by? They're always going to say no. In the off chance if they're like, which neighbor, be like, oh, a couple of them, no specific neighbor, but I've been knocking the neighborhood the last couple of days or so. Sometimes,
The word,
my information gets there before I do. Anyways, but I mean, if that most of the time they're just going to be like, no. So then I go, cool. The reason I'm here is because the real estate market's been pretty crazy the last couple of years. You ever considered buying, selling, or investing in real estate? And most of the time they say no. And then you ask them, is this your forever home? Sometimes they'll be like, yeah, we're not going nowhere. Cool. Then you pull the plug, you ask for referrals. Do you know anyone? Da da da. And you get referrals, you write them down, if they have any. If they say, no, this isn't my forever home, great, cool. When do you think your next move is? Are you talking 3 to 6 months? Or are you talking like 25, 30 years? Then they'll kind of give you a timeline. They'll be like, oh, no, probably like 3 years. And then you just kind of go along, then you're like, cool, well, what's happening in 3 years? That's going to make you ready to move in 3 years. Like, why 3 years, essentially? And then they start kind of telling you, and then, my hook is like, if I can show you how to save like, $30,000 to $40,000 by moving up your timeline and moving quicker, would you consider it? And then if they say yeah, when they say yeah, they're asking you to teach them how to save $30,000 to $40,000. And it's pretty much all about like interest rates. Market appreciation has been going up 10% year over year for the last 3 years. If they wait to buy a $500,000 house because they want to buy it next year, well, then that house is not 500 anymore. It's 550. So they just lost 50 grand, stuff like that. So you pretty much just walk them through that process, and then that's it.
excellent, excellent. So he has it down. He has a strategy. He's using it. It involves a lot of good conversations, questions, and when they do want to know something, tell me more about it. Well, we're 3 years. Tell me more about that. That's
You just keep questioning them, because they'll be like, oh, I need more money. What do you mean by that? Like, because you don't know what they mean. Do they need to pay bills? Do they need money for a down payment? Are they talking about they want to build up equity? You don't know. They just say money. They don't like, so you kind of have to keep drilling down to get like that motivation,
So just keep this in mind. Number one, people want to work with someone they know, like, and trust. So that is what you're doing. You're the person they know. You're getting to know them if you don't know them now. They're starting to like you, and you're giving them good information so they trust you. So now the only thing you have to ask yourself is, what is my true north? Am I the best person to help them? And I don't think we would have hired you if we didn't feel that you are. So that's the whole thing, that, there are a lot of people out there that aren't, as well-rounded as you are, as our company is. And so, yes, out of everyone, I think we're the best one for the job. All right. And a lot of that's Ryan and Kelly. They absolutely, that's how they run the ship. Okay, so here's the opportunity. Do a minimum of 3 CMAs a week. Start doing CMAs. You wanna get good at it. Send them to me. I'll look them over. Start with your own house. Do a CMA in your house. When you do it, then you're going to be less afraid to make appointments, because the more you do it, the better you get at it, and then it becomes fun. Okay? Give yourself a chance to turn conversations into referral opportunities. Knowing that you can call 10 people a day. So we just said 5 a day. So 5 a day, circle of influence. And now we have GeoFarm, open house, and circle prospecting. You can easily do 5 a day. So 10 a day, people another 5 a day, GeoFarms, open houses, circle prospecting. That's 10 a day. The more conversations you have, the more you can count on where your income is going to come from. You're going to have a stable career. You're not going to worry about what I'm closing on this house, then what? Because you keep making calls. You can't get into the busy work and let that take you out of business from going after new business. New business is the most important thing you can focus on. Okay? So have those conversations, focus on having those conversations. As you get comfortable, start turning those conversations into appointments. Why don't we meet for coffee? Let's talk about the possibilities. Let's create a market strategy. I used to say, you know what? You don't know what you don't know. So why don't we just meet and you can ask me any questions you want. We can talk about strategies. I don't know the answer, but I know where to find all the answers. So let's get together. Okay, so track your numbers. What gets measured gets done. If you're not tracking your numbers, you're avoiding doing it. Okay, this program is so that you can get 3 deals by the end of the 12 weeks. We're in week 7. So we need to be having appointments, having business happen. And if it doesn't happen right away, it's going to happen. We have to keep doing it. You have to push yourself to make the contacts. It's the most important thing you can do. So just keep doing it. Every morning, journal. This is what my goal is today in real estate. My number one priority is going to be, what is it?
Deals you're putting under contract. What you're doing right.
You know, and that's I do that every morning. So find a way to squeeze that into your day to, start it off right so you stay on track all day. You know what you want to accomplish. And then turn buyer conversations into agreements. Okay, so let's get this done. Don't forget to do handwritten notes. That's good too. Let me know what's happening. If you're proud of something you did, send me a text. So, one appointment this week, no excuses, got to do it. One offer written, if you can find a buyer, let's write more offers. Do a CMA on your house. Okay, next steps, make your contacts, make appointments. As listings come on, whatever they are in your geo farm, go knock on doors. Find the business. Request a flyer from marketing. Ask for something about you and about the area that you're going after. Okay. And then here are all of the recordings, the last page of this, which I sent out to all of you. I'll put today's on here too, but these are all the recordings for so far. So you can go back and look at anything. You know I'm here for you. Okay? Don't be afraid to reach out. Uh, a lot of people are saying they want more information on zip forms. This recording here is the best one. It's Larissa, and she's showing you how to do a buyer agreement in zip forms and assign the signatures and initials. If you have questions about using the MLS, saving a search, all the things that we're doing, there's a getting started guide link here. So it's digital. So I can't print it out for you because it all has links within the guide, but you can save it to your desktop. So don't let anything hold you back. Just keep moving forward. Okay. All right, you guys, thank you for coming. Yay, I knew this would be a quick one. So anybody want to share like a good thing that's happened this past week? How's it going? Are you feeling good? So you don't have to feel good, just so you know. You just have to do it. Act as if. There's a great movie called Boiler Room. If you want something to watch, watch Boiler Room. It is so good. It has Vin Diesel, Ben Affleck. It has like all the greats. And I think it might be 20 years old. It's about real estate, almost. It's about the stock market, but it's very similar. It's good.
I have a question, Jody, please.
Good.
Jody, I have a question.
Okay.
I've seen people in different businesses try to join any events. You have like a little table, some flyers, or cards. Basically, this is a way to meet also different people. Did you ever? What do you think about this? Like what can Century 21 help us with this? Say if I'm going to an event, doesn't matter what, you know. Anyway, say if you have like anything's going on in Southington, any kind of fair, we can have a little table, you know, with the Century 21 logo and our business card or flyers. Do you think that can help to meet also like different people? Or
I have been to almost every Apple Harvest festival since I got licensed. It
yes,
does help. Anything like that helps. And
yes,
you know, you have to pay for a table, so you'd have to do the research. Last year we did the Apple Harvest Festival and no one would show up. So I think that, and I think the reason is because it's becoming more commercial and it just there, you know, people are going there to get fried food and
yes,
go on rides, so they just don't go to the little booths anymore. And the booths are more people from out of town, and they're more professional, and they're all selling some kind of thing. So,
yeah,
you know, I would say I would go to every home show with a pocket full of cards and hand
yeah,
them out as you're talking,
yeah,
as you're going to different things, because that's where you're going to be around people that are thinking of moving,
yes,
whether it's a bridal show, a flower show, a builder show, you know, all of those things that they have at the different civic center and stuff like that.
yes.
That's a great place to network. You know, it's a great
Fantastic.
place to network. Home Depot and Lowe's.
Yes.
Hang out by the plumbing and look helpless, Ahmed. Not you.
Actually, they at Home Depot alone, they think I work there because I'm there every day. So. But
I know.
that is a good idea. So if I'm glad they mentioned this. So legally, or is it? Do I need to get their permission to stand outside with the little table and the flyers, do my own thing like business? Do I need to get like Home Depot permission or the manager permission to do this?
Oh yeah, they'll never let you do it. Not Home Depot.
Oh,
But what they
yeah,
will, you know, but they can't stop you from going walking through things. And if you see someone that needs help, like I recently redid my whole house, and our contractor kept sending us to Home Depot to get like light switches, and we had no idea what we were looking at. So, you
yes,
know, people were helping us all the time, and you know,
yes,
electricians and builders, and that is a good way to network.
yes.
So I gave my card out to a lot of people, and I got their information too.
Thank you, Jody.
I love it. Yes, it's all good. All right, it was so good to see everybody here. And you know, thank you for coming. And we'll see you on our phone call this week. Thursday, I have a company event I have to go to in Weathersfield. So some of the meetings that are before five, I'm going to be trying to figure it out with you. So I'll let you know. Any other questions? All right.
Thank you, Jody.
7 weeks in, you know, we do have business, but not as much. We need more business. So let's start making things happen. Call me if you need me. Okay.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Jody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.